How to knit the false flame stitch, English style. For this tutorial, you will need a pair of knitting needles and 2 balls of yarn in the colors of your choice. Special thanks to our sponsor UU for providing today's yarn. Today we are using their woolly worsted washable 100% merino superwash yarn. For this stitch you'll need to know the following techniques: knit, purl, with yarn in front, with yarn in back. To begin this stitch, we will cast on with our color A in multiples of 4 plus 1. Now before we get into the main part of our pattern, we'll have 3 prep rows. So for our first prep row, we'll begin on the wrong side and we are going to purl all stitches using our color A. Prep row 2. Continuing with color A, we are going to knit all stitches. Prep row 3. Continuing with color A, we are going to purl 2. Then we are going to start our repeat by purling 1, but we're going to wrap the yarn twice around the needle when we pull it through, before we pull it through. Okay, then we're going to purl 3. So repeat the purl 1, wrapping the yarn twice, and purl 3 until the last repeat in our row. When we get to the last repeat in our row, we're going to purl 1 with the wrapping the yarn twice, and then we will purl 2 instead of purl 3. Row 4. Now that we've finished with our prep rows, we'll get into the main part of our pattern, and we're going to switch to our color B, which I've already threaded through my fingers. And we're just going to start knitting with this. So for row 4, we'll begin with a knit 2. Then we're going to slip the next stitch with yarn in back. So we'll keep our yarn in back, slip the next stitch, and let this extra wrap drop. Then we're going to knit 1. Now we are going to insert our needle into the next stitch 2 rows below. Okay, so this can be a little bit hard to figure out, but we've got 1, 2. We're going to go right into this stitch right here and wrap our yarn through and then draw the yarn through. Okay, we're going to make that nice and loose so it comes up even with the rest of our stitches. Lots of slack on that. Okay, should look kind of like that. Okay, so once we do that, we're going to knit the next stitch, which is this one here, and pass the loop over the just knitted stitch. So this one will go over like so. Okay, now we're going to knit 1, and we will repeat this sequence all the way across until we get to the last repeat in our row. And when we get to our last repeat, we're going to do a slip 1 with yarn in back and then knit 2. Row 5. Continuing with color B, we are going to purl 2. Okay, then we're going to slip 1 with yarn in front and then purl 3. And we'll repeat this sequence all the way across until we reach the last repeat in our row. And when we get to the last repeat in our row, we'll slip 1 with yarn in front and then we will purl 2. Row 6. We're going to continue with color B, but we want to make sure that we carry up our color A, so we're going to wrap that over our color B, and that will lock it in along the side, and then we're going to knit all stitches. Row 7. We're going to continue with color B, and we'll purl 2. Then we're going to purl 1, wrapping the yarn 2 times around our needle. And then we will purl 3. And we'll repeat this sequence until we reach the last repeat in our row. And when we reach the last repeat in our row, we will purl 1, wrapping the yarn 2 times around the needle, and then purl 2. So we're going to repeat rows 4 through 7 until we've reached our desired length, and we will be alternating our yarn colors every 4 rows. So when going into the next row, we'll switch to our color A, and we will begin repeating row 4, which would start with a knit 2, and then we would be slipping the next stitch with the yarn in back, knit 1, knit 2 rows below and draw through loosely like so, knit 1, pass a stitch over, and then knit 1 more, and then repeat that till the end to finish row 4, and then continue repeating rows 5 through 7. Remember, alternating every 4 rows your colors. And you can do this with more than 2 colors if you want. You actually do 3 or 4 or 5, as many as you want. You just alternate every 4 rows your different colors. So that's how we knit the false flame stitch. After a few repeats, your pattern should look like this. Want more New Stitch a Day? Join our VIP email list to get every stitch directly to your inbox. Sign up today at newstitchaday.com/VIP.